one of our attendees astutely noticed that I had added the amusement tax to the wrong meter. And they assumed it was that I put a plant there so that I could show you how easy it is to undo chargebacks. I wish I were that smart, but I'm not. So they asked, hey, can we go through the process of fixing it? I should not have added the amusement tax to the remainder. That's only adding the tax to the remainder. What I meant to do was add that tax to the summary where I added those two vendor bills together at the very beginning. Great question. Let's do it. Shouldn't take us more than a couple minutes. So here I'm on the remainder that I had errantly set up incorrectly. I can go in to the properties right here, and I can jump right into the meter line section and simply remove the lines that I no longer need. This subtotal will not appear on the bill unless I have other items after it. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now let's go over to the summary where we did mean to add those charges. There are no meter lines on this bill. We'll go ahead and rename our total. And then we'll add our county tax as an amusement utility tax. There was also a question during the break, wouldn't you rather have that be an account charge? As a project manager, my answer to that is yes. As a trainer, no, because it doesn't help me illustrate the point of subtotals. So your charges may go in different places. We're just using it to illustrate the point here. So now these two items are corrected, but you say, wait a minute, what about those chargeback bills that you had generated? What are you going to do with those? Well, if you remember, I said earlier in the presentation that one of the advantages of the way we built chargebacks in version 7 is our ability to roll things back very easily. So here you can see I've run the chargeback engine 3 times. I can actually look at this and say, well, I know that the first one that I did here was the summary. That's now wrong because it didn't have the tax applied. The second time I ran and I got 3 bills, those were my submeters. They're actually okay the way they are. And then the last was the calculation that does the difference between the two of them. So I'm going to roll back that remainder calculation simply by clicking this button. And EnergyCap asked me, do you want to delete those bills that you generated or do you want to void them? Your preference, mine is to delete them. If I generated them, I just told the system to generate them. They haven't gone out of my system. They haven't gone anywhere. Why even leave them around? I prefer to delete them. You may choose to do something different, but we're going to go ahead and delete those bills. I still have a record that something happened, but those bills now have been reversed. They're no longer in the system. And I'm going to do the same thing with our summary that we ran at the very beginning. I'm going to reverse that and delete it. Okay. Now I need to rerun the summary, and I need to rerun the remainder after the summary has been done. So a couple ways I can do that. Yes, question?
Wouldn't your submeter bills be off as well? You added 3.5% to the summary.
Fantastic. Yes, my submeter bills would be off because they're not taking into account my unit cost that's been adjusted. However, they would have been trued up after the remainder was applied. 6 and 1, half dozen the other. We'll be safe here. And boy, I wish I had something like a workflow I could use to just reverse all this and do it all over again. I really wish I had that. We'll see. See if we can do something about that later on. Okay, so now I have reversed all of the bills. We'll go ahead and run these again. So I can come up here to calculate bills since I'm already here in chargebacks. It's quick and easy. It's right there. The first thing I want to do is calculate my summary. We'll run that for the month of August. Okay, that ran. It's up here. I can tell that it hasn't been reversed because it has the reverse arrow there. None of the other runs have a reverse arrow. They have all been reversed already. But I still have that history of what happened. We'll go ahead and run our 3 submeters. And then finally, we will calculate that difference, that remainder. And to show that things have been applied properly, let's go ahead and take a look at that new summary bill that we just generated. And at the bottom, you'll now see that the amusement tax has been added to the summary bill.